Hello everybody, I'm Rusty. I want to welcome you to Island Breeze Tropicals. So today we're going to be learning how to manage pest problems in your bromeliads, and it's called S.I.I.T. So you know what? The sun is shining, the island breeze is blowing. It's time that you and I got growing. Come on, let's have some fun and let's learn about S.I.I.T. Okay guys, I'm back in uniform, out of my doctor's costume, and today we're going to go into a method that you can take care of your bromeliads in case you get a problem in them, whether it's insects or mites or even disease. So this is all based on what's called IPM, which is Integrated Pest Management. But I'm going to reterm this so that all of you can understand, and I'm going to use the acronym S.I.I.T. S-I-I-T. So what is S.I.I.T.? Well, S.I.I.T. stands for Survey, Identify, Isolate, and Treat. So the first letter is S. That's survey or scout. And what that simply means is that take a look at your plants. Now, you don't have to do it every day, but take a look at your plants from time to time. If you look at them on a regular basis, then you're going to see if there is something that's different the next time that you look at them. And you'll be able to forestall any damage before it gets worse. Now, I like to take a victory lap at the end of each day and look at all of my plants. I've got a lot of plants. I can't look at all of them, but I got to tell you, there's no sense in having roses if you're not going to smell them. So go out and take a look at your plants. If you do it on a regular basis, you'll see if there's something wrong before it gets any worse. So scout or survey your plants and then identify. If you see something wrong, try to identify what it is. Now, sometimes that does take some degree of experience. Remember, it's only your first time once, and there's a lot of information that's available right on our smartphones or our desktop computers, and you can pretty much figure out what's wrong with your plant. So, identify. Okay, so we've got survey and identify, so that's S-I. Here's the second I, and this one is really, really important. So survey, identify, and isolate. If you have a problem in one bromeliad, get it away from the rest of your plants. Take and put it someplace else, because you don't want that problem going from this plant to this plant. Now, sometimes the problem very well could have spread. If it's an insect that crawls, it could have gotten from this plant to this plant. So inspect all the plants around this plant that now you are going to isolate and take away from the population of your other plants, and then take a look, do some more surveying and some more inspection or identification, and then take a look and see if there's anything that needs to be done there. Okay, so now we've surveyed, we've identified, hopefully we've isolated if we have a problem, and we come down to the last letter, and that is T, and that's for treatment. But I don't want you to run and get your sprayer right away. And as a matter of fact, in most cases, you don't have to spray any pesticide at all on your plant. And you want to make sure that if you are going to use a pesticide, that you have tested it on your plants. Never, ever spray a pesticide of any kind, whether it's an insecticide or a miticide or a fungicide on your plants, unless you have tested a leaf prior to doing that. Because there are some pesticides that could give a phytotoxic reaction to your plant, and you don't want that. Fortunately, you can take care of an awful lot of problems and not spray insecticide. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of instances where you don't have to treat the plant, and I'm going to show you one where some treatment may be needed. Okay, so this is a Bilbergia pyramidalis, I apologize for the glare of the lights. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. Without the lights, the camera won't be able to see it, but there is a little bit of glare there. But what I want to show you are all of these spots, and sometimes you might think that, oh my gosh, my plant has got a fungus. But that isn't the case here. This is generally due to mechanical injury. It could have been watered and the sun come out and lens through the water droplets and cause that degree of necrosis, that dead area on the leaf. So we don't have the time right now to go into identification of fungal organisms. I can tell you in general, you're not going to have a problem. But this really looks like mechanical injury. And here's one of the diagnostics that you look for. Take a look. All of the damage seems to be about at the same age. In other words, you don't see any little small places, any intermediate and large areas to indicate that you have a growing fungal problem in your plant. So in this case, you wouldn't have to treat. Now here's something else. Take a look at these two areas. Now these look like they were chewed upon, and you know what? They were by a grasshopper that we have down here in Southwest Florida called a lubber. But the lubber's not there anymore. And there aren't too many things that you can do other than spraying some really potent pesticides to prevent it. So the best thing you can do is, again, survey and inspect your plants, and if you find a lubber, then take it off and dispatch it in your favorite way. I've got mine, I can tell you. Now here's another area on the pyramidalis, and as you can see, that's a pretty big area of necrotic tissue. But because I inspect my plants on a regular basis, I know that this was caused by introducing this plant to a little bit more sunlight than what it really wanted, and then we got these necrotic areas, and they're not going to move. It's a mechanical problem, and it's over. But here we have a problem that will need treatment of some kind, and this is called scale. Now, scale is a sedentary insect, quite tiny. You will see it as bumps. See all those little bumps there? And it is sedentary. It doesn't move except in the crawler stage. That's when the young hatch out. But once again, I don't recommend any treatment of spraying a pesticide. One is because scale is really resistant. It has a waxy cuticle, and it's hard to get insecticide to it anyway. So what would you do in this case? Well, we're going to go into that in a subsequent video. Maybe the next video I'm going to show you how to treat it. So okay guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed learning about SIIT, survey, identify, isolate, and treat. So no matter where you are, I hope your sun is shining. I hope you have an island breeze blowing. I know that you need to keep growing and have lots of fun. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.